guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So this is one that I saw a bunch of people were requesting that I do. People wanted to see me rank the 120% lead EZAs, now that they are all done, right? I think most of these EZAs are actually very well done. A lot of these characters are ridiculously good, right? Now, one thing I did do was I just added in and threw in UI Goku and Hits. These are sort of the first two category lead EZA characters. I think that, like, there's recently sub EZAs are kind of like creeping into this territory, right? Like the sub EZA Kefla. I mean, I tell you, I would much rather run her over Kidbu and Super Saiyan 3 Broly and stuff like that. But I just sort of left this to a lot of the more recent, like, major Dokkan Festival exclusive EZAs, right? Rather than going in and adding in, like, you know, all these additional characters and stuff like that. Now that we're moving into the category lead EZA, like, sort of like meta thing, whatever we're doing, it does seem like they're kind of just skipping all over between the category lead EZAs, and they're just picking units that fit the theme of the celebration, right? We saw this with Int UI Goku during the 6-year anniversary, and then we also saw this with Hito during the Universe 6 celebration, right? So, you know, no more foreplay. Let's just jump in. Let's get him out of the way. Super Saiyan 3 Broly is at the bottom. He's ass. It's like, when he first came out, I was like, yeah, he's not as bad as people are saying. Yeah, the man's got no defense, but, like, you know, he could put up some really impressive damage. But then we started to see the other EZAs for the 120% leads, and it's just, oh, dude, no, he sucks. He's trash. He has no teams, right? Like, he's trash. Dude, where are you running him? The Super Saiyan 3 team that's predominantly over in a flash? Like, what are you doing with this guy? He just sucks. I'm just not even interested in hearing it. He's trash. That man sucks. That boy is fodder, ass, garbage, whatever you want to say. That boy sucks. That's it. Next, we're going to go ahead and get Int Kidbu in here. Int Kidbu very well might be a character that I've underrated a lot. I mean, he's not, like, the worst ever. He can get hit pretty hard, though. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's like he could do good damage, like, you know, especially if you got a lot of these major attack links active. You know, you got Majin, Big Bad Bosses, While Standing Tall. You got a bunch of those active. It's like, yeah, you know, it'll look like that he's gonna do a lot of damage, but I do not go crazy for this Kidbu whatsoever. He is on a lot of teams, but it's just, I don't know, man. Our boy Kidbu, I just never have really been overly impressed with him. Like, there's never been a situation, like, there's no difficult content where I've, like, thought of this, like, oh, I'm gonna use this guy. Like, there's no difficult content where I've thought of that, right? Like, the only stage is Majin Power Super Battle Road, but, like, that's because there's so few options to use, right? This guy could do good damage, but defensively I think he's a bit mid. The healing is always good because he heals right there, and then we also have infinite regeneration, right? That's always cool, but I don't know. I just feel like he pales in comparison to the rest of these units. Next is Physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Now, you see, I feel like I put him right here, and, like, people will probably go, what? No! But it's like, the rest of these units, I think, start to get really quite good. Physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is strong. He could do a lot of damage. Defensively, he could be solid. Like, his defensive stats themselves are not, like, the best ever. But, you know, he does have the dodge chance. I think Gotenks would actually be quite a bit better if this medium chance to dodge was a high chance to dodge instead. But unlike Kidbu, where, you know, Kidbu is on a lot of teams, but I don't know that there's a lot of, like, difficult content I would run him in. Gotenks is on a lot of teams, and there are, you know, a few difficult content stages. I definitely would not mind running this Gotenks on either, right? Like, I definitely feel like I've been able to get a lot of use out of this guy. I don't know that this really matters too much, but it does limit him a bit in, you know, participating in difficult content. You know, because the defense is, like, his defense is, like, solid, but what it is without a defensive buff in here, his defense is not really good enough by the time you get to the end of long events and stuff like that. So I'm not really the biggest fan, I would say, of this Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, but he is good, right? Like, we're definitely at the point where we're at good units. People are going to get mad at this next one is Int Super Gogeta as well. I like Super Gogeta, right? Like, he could be very good. He does raise defense. He does debuff. You know, he's got a super effective against all types. You know, he's got some chance to dodge with Rainbow Orbs. He's got the good Link set. But I just feel like that he's just like, it's like he's doing good damage. He's got the good Link set and all that, but I just feel like I like all the other units in front of him better in difficult content. I would feel is the way I'd explain it. Although this guy's good. Like, I use this guy, this Int Gogeta, I use him all the time. Crazy. He's actually about to be a year old. That's so nuts. This Gogeta is super good, right? But again, I just feel like the units we've got in front of him are better. Next, we have Super 17 right here. I actually really like Super 17. I think they did a really good job with his EZA. It's one of these things where he definitely, like, at the start, he can take some big shots, right? Especially in, like, Super Battle Road. But if you are able to let him super attack first, especially, or even get a couple of attacks in before he gets hit by, like, some big crazy attack, defensively, this guy can be very good. Maybe offensively, he's not the craziest ever, and he does still have the huge issue of you're running him on all these big bad bosses centric teams, but this guy doesn't have big bad bosses, which is always been a huge detriment for Super 17 units. But I think this guy is good. I think he's a nice defensive unit. He's got some good capabilities. Next, we have Super Genemba right here, STR Super Genemba. I do like STR Super Genemba a lot. Funny enough, Int Super Genemba, I would probably put in this exact spot. So I think Int Super Genemba, I would probably rate him over all of these 120% lead EZAs as well. Like, I think STR Genemba is slightly better than Int Genemba, but keep in mind that they're pretty much the same unit, dude. Like, I know, like, that's why this guy was, I felt like, very underrated, because I felt like they didn't do enough for him, right? They were scared to repeat their mistake that they made with Int Genemba, where they made Int Genemba a Titan, right? Like, he's still good. And Int Genemba came out, wasn't he like December of 2018? That's when he got his EZA? And Int Genemba is still really good. Like, they went so crazy with his EZA, right? He's just such a monster that this guy, they didn't give that much to besides the stats buff, because they didn't want to repeat their mistake there. But this guy's really good. All the difficult content he could be strong in. You know, it does suck that he doesn't have the problem with Genemba units more so than anything is the lack of category teams, for sure, right? It's like, it's not really that many places you're going to be able to use this guy, but in difficult content, long events, short events, Super Battle Road, Battlefield, all of those, if you could use this guy, these Genembas are a good option. They do have a really good link set, Genemba units do, so I'm comfortable with him right here. Next, I put Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I think Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a tremendously powerful unit. He could be a bit reliant on Rainbow Orbs, though. Like, you know, this high chance to activate, and then the 30% attack and defense per Rainbow Key Sphere. If this guy gets, you know, 3, 4, 5, I mean, dude, you're gonna get 5. I've gotten 5 Rainbow Orbs, like, 5 times ever in my time playing this game, right? Like, that's not something to account for. 4 is like, you know, really what you could get with some good luck. 3 is, you know, pretty common, but if you get 1 or 0, this guy is just not looking that impressive, honestly. But with, you know, 4 or 5 Rainbow Orbs, he could be as high as like 1 on here, right? Because he's going to be good for long events. His defense is high enough with, again, you know, 4 or 5 Rainbow Orbs. He's got the stun. He could be super effective against all types. He does have the ability to have the orb changing, the Rainbow Orb changing you could potentially get. He has a really good link set as well. Saiyan Lineage, Golden Warrior, Revival, and Over in a Flash allows him to share meta-relevant key links with, like, a lot of strong units on a lot of teams. You know, whereas, like, again, Genemba has, you know, the weakness of there's just not that many teams to use him on. Goku does not have that issue, right? Goku's on so many big-time teams. Buu Saga, Goku Family, Pure Saiyan, movie hero eventually, once it gets a proper lead, is gonna, it's the second they get a good leader, they shoot right up to one of the best teams in the game, movie heroes, because the roster's insane. It's just that the leader, it has aged, the AGL Gogeta, right? Super Saiyan 3 Goku, very, very good though. Next I have Int UI Goku. Now one point, so now that we get to Int UI Goku and Hit, one thing is, I think it is a good argument. You maybe could do something where you'd put UI Goku and Hit as 1 and 2. And one of the big factors is their leader skill, right? Dude, this as a leader skill this is one of the like best teams in the game, right? Whereas you go look at all these leaders, these are worthless. You'll literally never use these guys as leaders ever. You're not using them as leaders. You're just not, right? Whereas UI Goku and Hit, not only would you use them as leaders, they're actually they have some of the best leader skills in the game. With, you know, UI Goku, you know, being I think the definitive Realm of Gods lead right now, and then I think Hit is the best Universal Survival Saga lead. Or I mean, I guess that's debatable. It's either him or the LR God Goku and Hit. God Goku and Hit are definitely better. It's probably you probably would want to run God Goku and Hit, even because it's 150% buff, but the 4 key. Yeah, God Goku and Hit probably is the best lead for the Universal Survival Saga team. But Tech Hit is right there, right? But I think that is a strong argument for UI Goku and Hit. Is the fact that they have amazing leader skills where the rest of these units do not. What I've found with this guy is that you transform and he's the best unit on here by far. I think above Hit, Super Saiyan 4s, all of them, right? This guy is better than them all. Easy. But you do also have to transform into him, right? For long events, obviously he's great because you're stacking. He's very basic. In this form, he's not super crazy, though. This guy gets destroyed in Super Battle Road. He gets incinerated. This guy is the god, but this guy is not that impressive. He does have the ridiculous link set. UI Gokus have crazy link sets, which is really good. He's on, you know, does this look like a lot of teams to you? He's on a bajillion teams. He's really good. It's just, to me, I've found that like the Super Saiyan 4s and Cooler and stuff like that are more impressive before this guy transforms. So again, to be clear, when this guy transforms, I think he's easily number 1. And I think there's like no discussion about it when you transform with him. But before he transforms, I just find his performance to be far less than what Cooler and again, the Super Saiyan 4s and some of these other units are able to bring to the table, right? All right, so there's UI Goku. Next, we will go ahead and get Physical Cooler in here. Physical Cooler is really, really powerful. When he's fully built up, I've found him to be, like, seemingly one of the stronger units in the game. He could, like, triple 10 million attack stat, like, once he's fully built up here. Just to give an example, I think fully built up Physical Cooler is better than the fully built up LR 5 Anniversary Blue Fusions. I found that Cooler, it seems stronger to me, right? Like, he's doing way more damage than they're able to. I mean, maybe if you get the turn for, like, Vegito Blue, where you're able to get his active skill off, and then you're, like, quadruple super attacking with LR Vegito Blue, and he's fully built up, like, sure, right? But it's like, that's... Dude, I've done that, I think, once ever, like, playing, and that was in the God event, where I got the active skill turn with Vegito Blue, and then he, like, quadruple supered. When I took Vegito Blue into the God event, like, in that video, you guys could see that at the end. I did that with him. So, like, that's where he's better than Cooler, but that's the level that Cooler is at. Because people say, like, oh, the fully built up 5-year anniversary LRs are the best units in the game. No, they're not. But Cooler, fully built up, I think is on that level. He's got the really good link set. He's been helped out a lot because some major powerful units like LR Genemba, LR Full Power Frieza have come out recently that work amazing with this guy. This guy works really good with Genemba and Full Power Frieza, 2 of like the top 10 best units in the game. So that really helps this Cooler, I think, as well, right? Into looking up here. Next, this is where I cheat. And I don't care. Be mad. I'm putting both of the Super Saiyan 4s in the same slot. The reason I'm doing this is because their designs are just so close. And then I actually do have Hit as number 1 on here. Their designs are just so close. I think Goku is better, right? You know, it helped. Vegeta's got more... No, they have like the same amount of teams? Well, yeah, because Goku literally just got 2 new categories like last month. Okay, that's why. Oh, well, that helps. Yeah, Goku is on more meta relevant teams. I found that Goku is just more impressive. Turn 1, Vegeta's better. After that, Super Saiyan 4 Goku is better, is the way I've found this to work. These guys are ridiculous. They're super powerful, really able to work across a large majority of the game. One thing you really don't want to discount with them is their counter ability that they've got. It really can save your ass in certain situations. But again, one point to make about the Super Saiyan 4s and Cooler in front of UI Goku is you're not running these characters as leaders at all. Super Saiyan or UI Goku, you are. He's a lead, which I think gives him extra bonus points here. Him and Hit above these other characters. Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta, yeah, dude, they're super good. They have a really strong link set, the Super Saiyan 4s as well. Prepared for battle, GT, shocking speed. Look at this, Kamehameha Super Saiyan. Like, you're able to get, like, a lot of really good linking power with the Super Saiyan 4s. That's really good with them. And then number 1, of course, I have Hit. Hit is just, like, stunningly good to me. He does not need this to be good, right? They gave him this because the best way to run the Universe 6 team is to just run all the girls together, and Hit does not work that well with the girls in terms of links, right? So they just gave him that to sort of help him. He is definitely the leader you want to run for Universe 6. He's probably the second best lead for Universal Survival Saga. If I would rank the leads, I would probably go Hit and God Goku, this guy, and then LR Jiren probably third. This Hit's defense is very good after he super attacks. He can dominate Super Battle Road content, Battlefield content, be very relevant in long content. Maybe, his teams compared to, like, I guess the Super Saiyan 4s are on some potential more meta-relevant teams. I mean, again, UI Goku is on way more than them all. But I've been, like, blown away. Hit is so crazy. Dude, this guy is so nuts. I'm really excited for this guy to come to I want to see the global player base reaction to this guy. I've been blown, dude. I'm blown away by how good he is. I think this Hit is incredible. Again, I want to add this in. I would understand UI Goku being as high as 1 here. Like, he's got that potential when he transforms and with his leader skill. But I just think these 3, and I guess you could say these 4 are just, dude, they're like twice as good as non-transformed UI Goku or something like that, right? Unless you're very specifically 10 turns deep into the legendary Vegeta event. I do think one thing a lot of people do get caught up on a little bit too much. You could say I get caught up maybe too much on turn 1 Super Battle Road, and I feel like a lot of other people get caught up too much on, oh, it's turn 10 in the legendary Vegeta event. Look at his stats. They're so crazy, so good, right? But it's like, yeah, dude, it's turn 10, right? Like, it's, it's very specific. Whereas, like, again, turn 1 Super Battle Road, if you're good there, you're going to be good in long events and shit like that, too. Well, depending on if the passive will run out for, like, Heart Virus Goku or Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta or something like that. So, let me know what you guys think of this sort of, like, EZA units tier list. So, this is sort of the order I have them in. If we're talking about the 120% lead EZAs, right? It is sort of in that order right there. Where I think Super Saiyan 3 Broly is just so bad. Kidbu is definitely usable, but I'm just not the biggest fan of him. But then after that, I think the rest of these are just a lot better. I do think that there's the Grand Canyon is in between Kidbu and Broly. Then I think there's a bit of a gap, and then I think a lot of these units are actually pretty close, right? Like, you could probably interchange several of these. Well, I don't know, because Genemba, I think Genemba is easily better than these guys. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm done. I'm out of here. See ya.